Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, my social thread. My name's Crystal and today I'm joined by another helper, Gabriel. So this is Gabriel, how old are you, Gabriel? 9-year-old son, and he's going to help me with the advent calendar openings today. So today is day 4 of Vlogmas, and the first thing I want to address is the Kylie and the Machines calendar. Now I have said before that I just discovered that it's actually a countdown calendar, so it should have started on day 24 and working its way down to number 1. I started at number 1 and I have gone up to number 3, so today would be number 4. But having had a think about it, and I've had quite a few viewers sort of saying, you know, if I continue the wrong way, then it's kind of a bit of a spoiler for viewers that are doing it the right way, because they're obviously not seeing the same labels being opened. And also I spoke to my friend Adele, who's also doing the calendar. She started at number 1 and she's now reverted back to the original 24 downwards. So I'm going to continue on that vein. So instead of day number 4, it should be day 21, I believe, right? So 24, 23, 22, yeah, and 21 would be day 4. So we are going to go for day 21, which is where? 21, let's show them this one. So it's a lovely, like an embroidery work with the hoop around it. So 21, do you want to open that, my love?
How do you open them?
Yep.
I do take them out.
You need nails.
There's nothing up.
There's nothing in there. Oh, I like this colour. So it's a lovely baby pink, and it's actually really nice. Baby pink label with a green glitter thread, high on sojo, which is really lovely. And again, as usual, the Kylie and the Machines logo at the back, so you get 2 of those, which is really nice. Next, it's baby crying. Next calendar we're going to do, Gabriel, this one. This is the Beyond the Pink Door calendar. Right, Gabriel, we need box number 4 or bag number 4.
10, 8.
It should just be. It's here, my love.
I'm on the vlog.
No, she's already had yogurt. No, she's already had yogurt. Is that number 4? You sure? Let's show them. It's a small little packet, number 4. Right, I'm going to guess what it is. It's hard. 1 second. It feels like
A little book.
it's hard, like wood. It almost feels like something wooden.
Oh, wait, let me.
Like lollipop sticks all stuck together, but still. Oh, magnet. It could be a magnet. Well done. Let's have a look.
You can stay in. Stay in.
Anya, can you please leave this room just for now? We're doing vlog. Can you go, please? Thank you. Xander, can we get off the iPad, please? Okay.
Turn it off, Anya. Turn it off and put it down here.
Oh, it's Oh, it's a thing. So it is a magnet. It's one of these seam allowance guides. So there's a magnet there, and you stick. So I can't really show you on my machine. So for example, if this is your seam allowance. You stick it onto the base plate of your machine, so you get an equal seam allowance all the way. So that's really good. I've not got one of these, so that's very useful. And it's got a little zipper print on the front, and it's in purple.
So it's like a ruler sort of thing.
It's like a ruler, but you put it on the base plate of your machine, and then you use that as a guide. Yeah, so it sticks onto that. Thank you very much. And then third of all, we have the Fabric Godmother Advent Calendar. Inside. Fabric Godmother Calendar. Ta-da! Number 24. Not 24. Did we say 21? Oh, no. Sorry. This is normal. So number 4. See, I'm getting all confused now. Day 4. Yep, lovely. Day 4. Let's show them. Day 4 is this one here with a Dalmatian dog. Oops. No, pop it from there.
You can do that.
Okay, no, because that one's already... Right, let's read the
tip.
Pin
thing.
Yeah, let's read the tip.
Stick.
Mini bags make a great scrap busting project. So that's the little tip there. So let's take it out, and I'm going to try and guess, and then you can try and guess what it is. You got the first one right. Magnet. Well done. So it's a piece of paper, card. Mini bags make great scrap busting projects. So it might be a template of some sort, or like, What could it be? A sticker.
Wait, you bend it.
It's bendable. It's not a ruler or
Yeah, it's
anything.
like a sticker.
Like a sticker, right? Let's see what it is.
It's a...
Or a magnet. It looks like a magnet.
It's one
Is
of
it a
those
magnet?
things.
What is it?
Code things.
Okay, so what is this? Let's have a look. Pisa bow bag sewing pattern by Kate Eva Designs. Oh, I know her. I follow her on Instagram. So that's lovely. There's a QR code here. Is it a magnet? No, it's just a piece of card. So Kate Eva is a sewing personality. She's on Instagram and she does lovely makes, and she has created her own pattern for these sort of bow bags. And so you get the PDF pattern for that, which is lovely. That's a really great gift. And I haven't really made any bags. Oh, I have made bags, sorry. I haven't sewn any bags. So I've made like hand leather kit bags that I've shown on my channel before, but I've not made any fabric bags. So that's really, really nice actually. And I don't know how much her designs are. I would say they'd be about at least £6-7 for her designs, so I'm not sure.
There's 2 lines you can...
So it's basically like a bucket bag, and then it's like a bow, and then you tie it together.
Yeah, those things, you just pull them and
yeah.
get total.
So that's really nice. So those are the 3 gifts for today's advent calendars. I am going to rate them. I think my first place today is Fabric Godmother with their PDF bag pattern. Second place, I think, will be Beyond the Pink Door with their lovely seam guide. I haven't got one of these before, so that's a great little piece of kit. So that's going to go straight on and on my sewing machine plate. And then third place is the Kylie and the Machines labels that says Hi on Sojo. Thank you very much. Right, Gabriel, could you put that in my Kylie and the Machines tin? Do you know where it is? It's like a tin. There, that white thing by the machine, my love. That's it.
There's a tin that looks more like a book.
And then this, can that go onto my stitching plate, the metal plate of the machine right next? That's it. Can you see it magnetizes? Well done. And this, I need to keep this safe because this is a PDF. Where should I put that? Put that in with the labels as well, my love. Thank you. Right, Gabriel, you can leave, my love, when you're done. So that's my calendar's done for day 4 of Vlogmas. I might get confused actually with the Kylie and the Machines one, so hopefully I'll forget to do a countdown for that and for the others to go ahead as normal. Sewing wise, what have I done? So the Lyra dress I have finished almost. Well, it is finished. I just have to sew on buttons, and I'll show you it here. I haven't taken photos of my daughter in it yet. I literally finished it last night, and I called to her room and I was like, come try this on. So it's in a beautiful tartan cotton from from Pound Fabrics, and it's this lovely blue green tartan here. So you can see that's the collar there, collar stand. The sleeves are on. So this time round, for those of you that follow me will know I love a gathered sleeve head. This time I decided to do it properly without any puckers. It looks like puckers, but it isn't actually a pucker. And I am telling you the truth, it just needs to be ironed on. So that's not a pucker. If I put my finger there, you can see it's not a pucker. I am telling you the truth, honestly. So there's no puckers on that sleeve head. And then elasticated cuffs, the long sleeve elasticated cuffs. I've got the ties on the side, and I've got the buttonholes done already. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need to cut into those and tie and sew on my buttons. I've just gone for a dark green flat pearl shank button, and that's all done. So that's my first make for December, and that's for my daughter Talia, my eldest daughter Talia. Once I've done the buttons, I will get her to try it on, take some photos tonight, and hopefully share it with you tomorrow. So this video, actually, I am starting now to record my vlogs a day before so that I can release them quite early on in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. So today is actually Saturday, not Sunday. And this afternoon, myself and the younger kids are going off to a Christmas fair, a local Christmas fair. We've only been in this area a year, so we've not actually been to any Christmas fairs before. So we're hoping it's going to be nice. And have enough to do and see and what have you, in the same at the same time, we're hoping it's not too nice, that it's too busy, because I know we used to live in London and everything in London is just super busy, and especially when you've got younger kids, it's just a bit of a hassle to try and keep everybody together, try and keep everybody safe, as it were. So hopefully in the country, we're in Norfolk now, Norfolk, Cambridgeshire, hopefully it'll be a bit less busy, and a bit more space to enjoy and actually see the stalls, see all the Christmassy things, which will be really lovely. So that's this afternoon, Saturday afternoon. This morning, the older children, the 4 older ones, Talia, Tristan, Sienna and Gabriel, did their karate lessons. I'm not sure what the actual karate is called. I'm going to say it wrong. It's like Shakutan or Shakura or something. So I know there's lots of different forms of martial arts. So this is the karate Shakura. They've been doing that for a couple of months now. Or no, I think only 2 months. And they're now on their red belt, which is sort of the 2nd level. And I know it depending on what sort of martial arts that you do, the colours of the belts differ. As in, it always starts from white, then maybe it goes yellow, red, orange. This one goes white, yellow, no, white, red, yellow, orange, green. So they're enjoying that. So they go to that every Saturday morning, and for 2 hours you have a choice of... Oh, Ava, okay, come on, come, it's okay. Baby wants to be in here. I'll just let her dawdle around. She loves playing with my buttons. Where's your button jar? Do you want to play with Mama's buttons? Here, buttons, good girl. Buttons, pens. Oh, button jar. Sorry, button jar. Here you go. Button jar. That'll keep her busy for a while. So yeah, so thank you very much for your comments on my vlogs. Lots of people have been commenting how they enjoyed my talk about home ed, which I thought would actually bore some people, but apparently it's very interesting. So I will continue to give you snippets of my home ed life, also my family life. So one of the viewers did say to me that in some countries homeschooling is illegal, which is very true. I believe on the continent, France, Germany, all the European countries, it's illegal basically. It's illegal basically. And she was saying, you know, how social interaction is obviously very important, and that the school does that for you, which in some parts I do agree. Yes, obviously in school you interact with a whole lot more people, you know, 30 children per class. I don't know how many classes per year, and then how many years per school, you know, so on and so forth. I think with respect to that, that is the biggest... Talia, Sienna, Gabriel. Yeah. Okay, fine. Can we just close the door, please? Maybe keep safe. It's fine. That is the biggest sort of what's the word? The most common question people ask. What about social skills? So I'm just going to address this really quickly. So in regards to social skills, I'm all mumbling now. It's true that they do get social skills at school, but it's also true that some children don't get social skills from school at all. There's lots of children that still come out of school extremely shy, extremely quiet, extremely antisocial. And there's some children that come out of school that are fully sociable, you know, fully confident, and it just depends on the child. So I don't think it's a case of school or homeschool that allows a person to be socially mature, socially aware, you know, socially active. So I think as with everything, you know, school and homeschool can provide those backgrounds. So with regards to our social interaction for our kids, as you know, we are of a large family. I think if you were homeschooling and you only had 1 or 2 children, it might be slightly more difficult because the children have less other children to interact with. With us, as I say, we have 8 children, the eldest being 15, the youngest being 18 months. I'm always present at the home as well, so they have me. My husband works from home, so he comes home for lunch and for dinner, pops in now and again for a coffee, that sort of thing. In addition to that, the children do, as I've just said, they do extracurricular activities. So once a week, the 4 older children, actually twice a week, 1 hour during the week and 2 hours on a Saturday for their karate, and they meet up with other children there. Now and again they do have activities and parties that the what do you call them, what is the karate instructor called there? It begins with S. So the karate instructor organizes this. I can't, my brain's gone. Well, I'm sure you guys know what the karate instructor is called. Sensei, that's it. And then once a week also on a Friday, we go for a football playground social. Lots of other home educated children. There are also school children that come because it starts from around 3 till 6 p.m. So around 3:30, 4 p.m. the school children do join, but mostly it is for home educated families. And the older children have a full game of football. The younger children play in the playground, and the mums chat. Now, because it is coming to winter, it is an outdoor activity, so the football still seems to go on because the children are running and they keep warm in the cold. But for the younger children, we then tend to go to some of the mums' houses and sort of what's it called, do like rounds, as it were. So I'm thinking at some point when it does get too cold, it will stop, and then it will sort of restart again in sort of March, April, when the weather's still cold, but not as cold as it is kind of going to be in the next couple of weeks. So we do that every Friday as well. And then the other activity they do is badminton once a week. So it's the older children, there's like a club, and they go with my husband and they play badminton. So that's good in terms of their exercise. And then in our local area, there is an actual home education. It's a hub. So every 2 weeks we meet up and they basically hire out the local leisure centre. I would say there's about 80 children, 60, 70 children that join. And that would be probably about 30 families that are there once every 2 weeks. And as I say, they hire out the leisure centre. So we have the big, I believe it's a basketball court that they put a curtain in between. So one half they set up for badminton, the other half is table tennis or another sport where we get a coach in and the coach teaches children sort of basic rules of that particular game. Next to that basketball court there is a soft play area. It's quite small. I mean, I guess it's all relative. So I guess it's as big as, I don't know, 6 meters wide, and it's quite like a 3-story soft play. So that's for the younger children, and then there's like a little table and chairs there for the mums to sit down, and then the room after that is a gym. And so they hire all of that out for 2 hours, and we get subsidized entry to that. Oh, most importantly as well, at the end there's also half an hour swimming, free play swimming, which is really, really great. And so for me and my children, we only pay £14 for that, which is an amazing value, because to go swimming now just for my family alone would probably cost I don't know, 30 quid, 30, 40 pounds to go. So that's really good. So we try and do that every 2 weeks. And it's also nice to meet the other home educators in the area. It's not a religious affiliated one. It's just everybody that home educates within the area gets to join, is allowed to join. So that's really, really nice. So that's what we do in terms of the social aspect of things and the extracurricular aspect of things for the children. And then the other thing I wanted to say was, I remember at school, actually, I don't know if it was the same with you, like we always had to kind of keep quiet in line, keep quiet at our desks, keep quiet at the dinner table. And if you were caught if you were caught talking or whispering, you know, the teacher would always say, "You're not here to socialize. This is school. You're not here to socialize," which is really bizarre, because now that we're homeschooling, everybody's like, well, how do they socialize? How do your kids socialize? So I guess, you know, if you don't have an insight into the homeschooling world, then I guess people might think, yes, the children are isolated. They're, you know, they have no social social opportunities, I suppose. But what we found with our children is that because they are not placed in particular year groups, so obviously in school you'd have sort of the 5 to 6 year olds kind of play together, you know, the 6 to 7 year olds play together, the 9 to 10 year olds play together, and they rarely, I think, cross over, because you just do most of your, you know, day with that particular age group. And I find with homeschoolers, because you are not divided into those categories, the younger children are able to just, you know, casually talk to the older children casually talk to the adults, and there isn't that barrier of, oh, you know, they're not in my age group, I don't know how to socialize with them, I don't know how to talk to them. On the flip side, there are some children that are super confident, and they, you know, they literally sit down with the adults and have a full-blown conversation with the adults, which I find is a bit weird sometimes, because it's like we're trying to have an adult conversation, there's some children sort of trying to give their opinion. But you know, everything is relative. You know, there are pros and cons to everything in life. And I suppose as parents, what myself and my husband are trying to do is make the best decisions for our children with the information that we currently have, with our finances, with our physical and mental abilities. And we're hoping, obviously, as most parents are, we're hoping that we are doing the best for our children. And at some point, if we reached a breaking point, or if at some point we found the children weren't thriving or weren't doing well, then we would have to reconsider our position. At the moment, we have 2 through, as I say, to sort of GCSEs and beyond, and it seems to be working well for them. And we still have another 6 more children to go through. You know, things are changing rapidly in schools now anyway. I'm thinking, I did hear something about GCSEs maybe changing. You know, the A-level system has kind of changed a little bit now. So there's lots and lots of things going on. Nothing is guaranteed in life. Nothing is set in stone. And in regards to the education for our children, we are taking it sort of a year at a time, seeing how they thrive or not thrive. And as I say, like with the GCSE route that we were taking, we then transferred the younger children to the high school diploma route because we just thought it was less pressure for them, less expense for us, and you know, less stress on me as well, because as I say, this high school diploma online school that they're at, we pay for a consultant that supervises everything. You know, all the work is prescribed and scheduled and printed out. Tests and things are all assessed and marked, and for the older children it goes towards their high school diploma. Secondly, as I say, it's less expensive. It is still a big layout when you start off, because you have to pay for yearly enrollments for all the children, and then all the books for all those years you have to pay for. Obviously you keep them and we pass them down to the other children. But in comparison to GCSEs we found have been quite expensive. So with my older daughter, we were doing courses, and I guess some of the courses can range from £100 for the year to about £400 for the year, which doesn't sound like a lot because it is spread over the year. But if you're doing like 3 subjects, and let's just say average of £250 per subject, so that's £750 for the one child just for the course. If you needed extra tutoring on top of that, you would have to pay extra for that. The exam centre, I think the last one we went to was £120 per subject. So again, that's £750 plus £360. That's more than £1,000 just for the one child for the 1 year. And that's not including tutoring. That's not including traveling to all the centres, that sort of thing. Anyhow, I mean, this is obviously the decision we made. And so homeschoolers do not get any financial government help at all. There may be a small pot of funding for homeschoolers that have learning difficulties, maybe if you have dyslexia, or if your child has some sort of special needs, then maybe you are able to apply, you may be able to apply for sort of a grant or some sort of financial help from the government. But generally speaking, home educators do not get any funding from the government at all, so it is all on your own back. You pay for it all, which is fine, because we obviously made that decision ourselves, knowing that full well that, you know, we would have to pay for everything. So that's the position that we're in at the moment. So anyway, I hope I didn't digress to the point of the social aspect of things. And yeah, so that's it for homeschooling, I think, today. If there's any other questions, please do let us know. And when I say us, it means me. And then family life again. So I thought yesterday, I think I was talking about sort of food and stuff and what we do for, you know, how I feed the family. So we normally I like going to Lidl's, our local Lidl, because I find the food, I know some people say, you know, the food quality isn't good or what have you. I really like it. I think the food quality is good. The prices are very fair. You get great value for money. I love how, which I've just noticed since we moved, every Lidl is actually laid out in exactly the same way. Yeah, no, it's true. I think I've been to 3, one in London, one up north, and one where we live now. And maybe about 4, I'm lying, about 4 or 5 Lidls, and they're all laid out the same way. So you go in, you have your bakery, you have your fruit. The next one is so bakery, fruit, then you have your bread and your tin tuners, and then baking at the back, and then the next one is sort of cakes, cereals, and then the next aisle is toiletries and dog food, and then the next aisle is a beer and wine, and it's the same all the way. Every shop you go to, it's laid out the same, which I think is a really good sort of selling point, because if you want to go quickly, you know exactly where to go, what to get, and what have you. So anyway, we like Lidl's, and we do most of our shopping in there. Although the only problem with Lidl is you actually have to go there, like they don't do a home delivery service, which sometimes when you've got a large family, it's quite hard to actually get out and do the big shop. And also it's tiring, you know, you have to actually drive there. I mean, it's only 5 minutes for us, to be fair, but you have to drive there. You have to walk around the aisles, pick things up, pack things, bring it into the car, unpack things, all that sort of thing. So that's all time, and time is money, as we all know. So if we don't go to Lidl's, we do Tesco delivery, which is slightly more expensive, but you do get it all packed and delivered. And then there are also some branded things that we do buy that Lidl don't do. So Tesco is very good for that. Also, what I like on Tesco, because you're shopping online, you can see how much everything is. And what my mother-in-law taught me, which I never used to look at before, when you look at prices, you always look at the per 100 grams or per a kilo, so you can actually compare which is cheaper. And I never used to do that. I used to just look at the prices and think, okay, well, that's cheaper, so I'll go for that. But actually, if you look at the, say, for example, I don't know, apples, you know, it will say 20p per, no, not apples, let's just say, I don't know, rice. It will say, I don't know how much rice is. It will say, like, I don't know, £1 per 100 grams. And then some rice will say 98p per 100 grams or 80p per 100 grams. And that's how I know which one to go for, which is cheaper. And we normally tend to go for the cheaper options for most things, apart from various brands that we do like. So like sausages, we wouldn't go for the cheapest brand of sausages, because obviously the cheapest brand has less quantity of pork or beef to all the other ingredients that are in there. So yeah, Tesco is where we go to. Also, the thing about Tesco is you get your Tesco vouchers, and the Tesco vouchers, we normally save it up because you can spend them at things like Chessington, I believe you can spend it, but we've not spent it at Chessington's yet. Or Legoland, I believe you can spend it there as well. So we normally spend it at restaurants. So we can go to Prezzo. I call it Prezzo because it's spelt like pizza and it's Italian, but I know most people call it Prezzo. And actually, I Instagrammed Prezzo probably a couple of months ago, and I asked them how to pronounce it, and they said to me it's pronounced like pizza, Prezzo. So I still stick to Prezzo, but people, I'm sure, will say Prezzo as well. So I mean, I don't know. So sort of a couple of times a year, we will all eat out at Prezzo or Pizza Express, because we get to use our vouchers. And it's quite nice because for our family to eat out, it's probably like £120, which doesn't sound too bad for 10 people. Bearing in mind the children have children, so the younger sort of 4 will have children's meals, and children's meals are very good value for money. And in Prezzo and Pizza Express, they're actually quite big quantity, so that's quite nice. So about £120 for us, and that's like sort of a free meal. So we get a free meal sort of 2 to 3 times a year with our Tesco vouchers, which is really great. And so that's where we shop. In terms of food, so what do we eat? So breakfast is quite simple, really. We have either porridge or cereal or toast. I think most people have that. In terms of we do like a cooked breakfast, the full English breakfast, but somehow we normally only have it when we have guests, which kind of sounds a bit mean. Like I wouldn't cook it for my own family, but I would cook it if we had guests, like if my in-laws were over. Well, not my in-laws, because they're kind of almost not guests because they live in our annex, but if my parents were to come over, or Daniel's brothers and sisters or friends were to stay over, we would have a full English, and so that's quite a treat. Sometimes actually I will cook it for my own family if it's like, but I won't do it for breakfast because it takes a lot of effort to sort of get up and cook all the components and sort of still have it all warm at the same time. So we would probably do it for a brunch, like an 11:30 brunch, so I have more time to prepare it, and that would probably be a treat for, I would say, Christmas Day, but it wouldn't be Christmas Day because obviously we're tired from the night before. It would probably be like a Boxing Day thing, or if someone's birthday, or a Catholic feast day, if you want, you know, or someone's then done well for their exams or something, that would be a treat for us, like a full English. And then for lunch, again, it's quite casual for lunch. We normally have sandwiches. We try to change the breads up now and then. You know, we have normal seeded brown bread. We do the part baked baguettes. You know, you can get them part baked. You put them in the oven, so they come out almost freshly baked. bagels, tiger bread. My children love a soft white tiger bread that's pre-sliced. And then we have your usual sort of fillings, you know, ham and cheese. I like pickle in mine, tuna mayonnaise, egg mayonnaise, bacon, that sort of thing. If there are leftovers from the night before that's not enough to make a dinner meal, then we will have leftovers as well, which is really nice. And the lunch, it's quite nice. The older three, so Talia, Tristan or Sienna, will prepare the lunch for their younger brothers and sisters, which is really lovely, because at that time I'm either just finished the morning session for the schoolwork, or I'm still sort of continuing like a working lunch. And so it's nice for them to just quickly make the little ones a sandwich or make themselves a sandwich, which is really nice. Sometimes we have frozen pizza for lunch as well, which is quite nice. If we have leftovers from the night before, like if we've had like a chili con carne or a bolognese and the pasta's gone and we just have sort of the mincemeat left over, then we will make like empanadas, which is basically just either a sheet of puff pastry or a sheet of short crust pastry that we cut into, I think you can get 6 squares. You put a dollop of meat inside, fold it over like an like a Cornish pasty basically, and then you put it in the oven, and they're really great Cornish pasty type lunch lunch items for the children. And then dinner is always quite, I wouldn't say big, but you know, it's a proper sit down meal as it were. And what do we do for dinner? So we have roast chicken. Children love chicken, and we normally go for like two large chickens. We do have leftovers from that, and from the leftovers we will do like a chicken pie or have like chicken for a sandwich filling, that sort of thing. So for roast dinner for our family, we would have 2 large chickens, probably 1.5 kilos of roast potatoes. Yorkshire puddings would probably have 24 Yorkshire puddings, which we make ourselves. We use the Jamie Oliver recipe from his Ministry of Food book, which is really, really great. Foolproof, lovely big puffy Yorkshire puddings. And then we'll have a tray of roasted vegetables as well, and lots of gravy. So that would be sort of a roast dinner for us. Other meals we do, I mean, we're like any other ordinary family. We do a lot of mince beef, so spaghetti bolognese. I normally go for the 5% fat content for the minced beef, and we normally do a kilo for ourselves for a family meal, 1 kilo of minced beef. And I add to that frozen mixed vegetables, and I also bulk it up with green lentils that are pre-cooked, as in I pre-boil them, and then I add them in, and it kind of almost camouflaged by the meat. So the younger children, I mean, to be fair, they can detect it, but they will eat it because it's all kind of within the mincemeat itself, and so that bulks it up, also adds extra nutrients and protein, which is really, really good. And then pasta wise, we would probably have 1 kilo of pasta. And I know for pasta, it's normally, the running guide is 100 grams per person. So 1 kilo is more than enough, because the younger children won't have 100 grams. They'll have like 50 because they're only little. And so that's us. Garlic bread. Sometimes we have corn on the cob, salad, that sort of thing. What else do we normally eat? Lasagna, again, is another big thing with us. So we have a big tray and a half of lasagna. What else do we have? Oh, we have lots of curries, mild curries, kormas, tikka masalas, that sort of thing. Again, Jamie Oliver, Ministry of Food, he has a lovely section on there for making your own curry pastes, which does take some time and effort, but the flavor is second to none. There's just so many different layers within that curry paste, and then you add your tomato or your coconut with it, and then chicken or beef or what have you, and the children absolutely love it. And the paste is very good. So again, that's Jamie Oliver's Ministry of Food. Other things we have, what else do we have? The kids like salmon, so we have like salmon tagliatelle sometimes. So it's basically sort of a creme fraiche sauce with roasted salmon, green beans, that sort of thing. Fresh tagliatelle for that one. I just think fresh pasta just tastes so much nicer. I could eat it just with olive oil and pesto and stuff. So what else do we have? Oh, on Fridays, so as practicing Catholics, we abstain from meat on Fridays. So Fridays would normally be jacket potatoes, tuna, beans, cheese, or we have a lasagna, but instead of the meat, we have it with lentils. And some of the children kind of turn their nose up at it. But what I do with the lentil lasagna is I make the white sauce. I make a lot more white sauce, so it's a lot more creamier, and they seem to like that, and they don't seem to moan about the lentils too much for that. What else do we have on a Friday? I guess like a pasta bake, like a tuna pasta bake is great as well on a Friday. So we have that. What else do we do? Oh, I like to make some big rice dishes like a paella with chorizo and chicken. You know, main sort of ingredients, or the main components of a paella, I suppose, for me is chorizo and the paprika. I think that really makes it. We do risottos with salmon and chicken, although the children used to love it. They don't love it so much anymore. I must try it again. So I used to make risottos quite a lot, like chicken and butternut squash with parmesan on top, a bit of peas, and then the salmon one as well was quite, I used to like, and they used to like it, but they've becoming quite picky in their older years, which is fine. And then sometimes we also have sort of just your, you know, like fish fingers and chips sometimes, or burgers and chips. So that's quite an easy thing to do. And also for those, the older children normally put that in themselves, so it's quite nice. So we put sort of fish fingers or, you know, burgers and things in the oven. And with chips, we have an air fryer for the chips, because we used to fry chips, and fried chips are amazing. They're the best compared to oven chips, but I just didn't like the grease in the oil. And so my in-laws bought us an air fryer, so we put the chips in the air fryer and then everything else in the oven, or we cook on the hob. What else do we eat, Sienna? Chili con carne and rice, that sort of thing. I mean, if there are any other great family recipes that you guys know of, please let me know, because you know, sometimes you get stuck in a rut with sort of what you're eating, the children, it just goes round, you sort of eat the same thing week on, week out. And we have had a tendency, sometimes myself and my husband would like something a little spicier, or we'd like to, you know, like fry some sea bass or something. The kids don't like sea bass, or just various things that we like. So I will then have to cook 2 meals, like one for myself and my husband, and one big meal for the children, which is fair enough. Or pies, chicken pies, steak and chips, that sort of thing. We eat all that as well. But yeah, there you go. That's sort of what am I on? I'm 36 minutes. So that's sort of the things that we do eat. And as I say, we shop in Lidl and Tesco. It's kind of stopped now, but before, a couple of months ago, Talia and Tristan were cooking 1 meal a week. So Tristan would normally do like a pasta bake, and Talia would normally do like a korma, or like a curry of some sort where the paste is already done, and then she would just add that to the chicken or what have you, and then cook the rice. Oh, and Sienna, as I say, is our rice cooker, so she will cook the rice. And then the little ones, Talia, Gabriel and Anya, will help me chopping up the salad. So that's really nice. So it's all a big family affair. Everybody has an input, everybody has a say, and I think it's the best way to run a large family. Anyhow, I hope that was okay. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. I will see you again tomorrow. We're off to the Christmas fair now. I might take some footage of that and show you tomorrow, and maybe also a couple of snippets of sort of our living area, sort of where we spend most of our time, that sort of thing. If that interests you, please do let me know. In the meantime, take care. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.